All right, so let's talk about it. JB Hunt, round 2. Okay, so JB Hunt, I did a video a little while back. If this is your first time seeing a JB Hunt video of mine, just know I had one before that was named "Do Not Contract Your Truck to JB Hunt." And that video was not shot in an emotional outrage. Things built up over the course of 6 weeks of me being here that led me to feel that I need to put them on blast for a severe level of unprofessionalism and lack of regard of my time, money, and resources. Started out with a dedicated account that was a dumpster fire. It's the whole reason I came to JB Hunt from USA Truck. Ultimately, I ended up having to leave one load board for another. And I told them I did not want to do that under any circumstances. I'm fine with my load board over at USA Truck, etc., etc. I need this dedicated account. If you want to see more of that, watch that video. The link is going to be in the description, because all of the things that I said up to that point were true. And I'm not going to take it down, nor have they asked me to. So, just so you know that that's there. They have acknowledged it, however. It's been acknowledged, not necessarily from JB Hunt corporate directly, but it's been told to me that that video has made its rounds in the office. But this video isn't an apology or because they said I needed to. I had already began making a list of things that have changed and things that have stayed the same, etc., to keep all things fair. And so that I didn't leave it on that note and it be entirely untrue from that point to this point. If you're looking for a company to contract your truck to, especially a starter owner-operator company, so you're just getting a new truck, be it through SFI, which is where I got my truck. I'm gonna put the link for that video below if you want to listen a little bit more about leasing your truck that way. But SFI or Bush or Penske or whoever it is you might be leasing. If you're a first-time owner-operator, green, if you will, the JB Hunt, USA Truck, Schneider, Landstar are usually the buzz names that pop up for just starting out. Well, what sometimes disappoints me still, but what disappointed me the most when I came to JB Hunt was that they're so large that they should have the resources to kind of take care of some of the issues that they have. I know that people make fun of mega carriers and things like that, and say that they're heartless and don't care, and there's a lot of truth to that. And when you come over here, you're not concerned about the mega carrier aspect of it, because most of the time you're running your own stuff. And if you come into this as a company with a company driver mindset, then you're not going to be successful anyway. So just know that you are trying to run a business, and you're using the means of JB Hunt's resources to be successful or not, depending on how you're able to manage it. JB Hunt has a lot of freight. JB Hunt has a lot of contacts. They have a lot of contracts. They have a lot of different moving parts, because first of all, they're 50 or 60 years old. I can't remember. I want to say it's 60 years old. And with that comes some pretty nice things, actually. Thing number one is the fuel discount. Right now with diesel being north of $5 a gallon, I'm just talking east of 35. I know that it gets $7, $8, for all I know, it's $12, $13 out in California. Freight don't pay good enough for me to go out there usually, so I haven't had to deal with that. It's not been a problem. Not been my problem anyway. So east of I-35, over $5 a gallon in diesel. And just last night, I fueled up and I got $1.44 off a gallon at the Pilot. Now, to be fair, that's the most that I've gotten, but it's $1.04. I've gotten $1.22, 97 cents. They advertise between 35 and 85 cents a gallon. And because ever since this fuel stuff has done what it's done, it seems to me that a lot of the Loves and the Pilots and things like that have offered, probably to all the mega carriers, if you're a Prime driver and you're watching this, or anybody who's paying for fuel and actually gets to see the discount, you can maybe vouch that you've seen larger discounts since the fuel got so high. And I think there's probably just an agreement between carriers and fuel suppliers to try to help out a little bit, because I definitely didn't notice $1.44 a gallon off when it was $2.50 a gallon or $3 a gallon, but it still was it was a good discount, 80, 90 cents. I mean, I got 97 cents a gallon off in December. So that's one really good thing, and that is a tangible, right now discount. I mean, that is money in your pocket right now. The other point that I would like to make about JB Hunt versus my USA Truck experience is the way the load board is set up. And I'm going to try to not be confusing, but this is a point that has to be made, because it has made a big difference in the way that I pick loads and how I decide if a load is worth me taking or not. Over at USA Truck, some loads had a fuel surcharge listed with a number that, $500, $300, $185, whatever the fuel surcharge was, it would show FSC. Then there were a lot of loads that said BTF, which stands for breakthrough fuel, which essentially is where the fuel surcharge isn't decided until after you've made delivery. So you don't know. You get a fuel surcharge, and sometimes it's really good. There was one time over at USA Truck, I took a load that was a $1,300 line haul, 285 miles up to Michigan, and it was a light load. I think it was like 16,000 pounds. And it was a $750 fuel surcharge. And it was not listed that way, though. I took it because the line haul with some fuel surcharge was good enough to take that short run and that light of a load. I had another one that paid $900. That was a breakthrough fuel. It had it showed as a BTF. But you don't know that until you get your settlement for that week, right? So that's kind of makes it difficult. Makes it difficult to pick your loads sometimes, because there's other loads I might have taken if I knew it had a $900 fuel surcharge, and I wouldn't have scoured the load board for so long or waited so long to grab a load, or whatever the case may be. Every load at JB Hunt reflects and shows a fuel surcharge. And I say 98%. I've seen one or two loads that does not offer a fuel surcharge. It is so rare that I can't even tell you an example of what the load was. But it's one or two times that I've ever seen it. Not that I've ever taken, I mean that I ever just seen it on the board. So it's super rare. And that makes a big difference in how you can plan your loads. Because when you're figuring rate per mile and you know what that fuel surcharge is when you're planning your week, makes the biggest difference in the world. So I give them props on that, because it has made a big difference in my income, because I've been able to plan accordingly with a better foresight or understanding of every single load and what it's going to pay out without this random breakthrough fuel mess happening on the back end. Some big mystery number. That usually paid out pretty well, but you don't know. Sometimes it didn't. So those are definitely the two biggest things that I would say have been a major impact for me financially. USA Truck didn't have a fuel discount, other than they had 15 cents off a gallon, which if you have an EIN number, you can get a fuel card on your own that gets 15 cents off a gallon. You don't have to be a mega carrier for 15 cents off a gallon. I have cards I can get 50, 60 cents off a gallon if I go to certain places. So financially speaking, I can say I am in a better place at JB Hunt than I was at USA Truck. Does that mean you would be in a better place here? No. Does that mean that if you're at USA Truck that you would do better here? No. Could you? Yes. If you had a similar situation that I had, and you were dealing with some of the maybe you don't have an issue with that breakthrough fuel situation, and you just have a lot more forethought than I do in business acumen or whatever it may be. But coming over here, those two things have made the biggest difference for me. I do think there's just something to be said about if you're starting out as an owner-operator, you don't have some sweet in somewhere with some guy who's going to give you 90%, 10% his, and 90% yours, and you run some sort of fancy load board setup where you're not pulling from a house board, but you're pulling from maybe the DAP board or whatever. I mean, everybody has different networking opportunities. So I'm talking about the bulk of people that are looking, that green owner operators looking to get in and do something with a mega carrier. JB Hunt, in spite of themselves, has still allowed me to financially prosper. I still run into I'm still running the same issues. Can't find an empty a lot of times. I can't find, sometimes that load information is not correct. But that's the way the business is. I do think that JB Hunt should have a better empty situation, because we have these stupid DCS dedicated trailers and intermodal trailers, which I wouldn't want to pull an intermodal anyway. But there's a DCS, if it says DCS on it or dedicated on it, we can't pull it. If you're on the load board, you can't use that trailer unless it's been preloaded by a customer because it was on site. You can't grab it as an empty. And I can't tell you how many times I go somewhere and there's 100 DCS trailers and there's no, what they call, I think they call them road trailers or something. I don't know. So they all go on the road. I can't remember what they call it. They give it some name. But there are very specific ones that you can take and can't take. And JB Hunt's too damn big for me to be having to worry about trailers. I reached out the other week. I went to a Dollar General distribution center. They didn't have any. And I said, we need to change the name of the company from JB Hunt to MT Hunt. Because that's all I spend my time doing. Looking for a damn empty. But that's part of the business. And I'm just saying, I feel like JB Hunt should have a better setup than that. If they'd let me start pulling them damn DCS trailers, I would never have a problem with empties. But it's not happening. It's not my company. Not my name on the side of the trailer. So I wanted to be fair in that I have been able to financially prosper and be profitable in spite of $6 a gallon fuel. And I really ran them through the mud in that last video. And again, up to that point, everything was true. So I'm not taking it down. But grading it on a curve, again, pulling it back to where we are now, things have gotten better for me. And I'm certainly making more money than I was over at USA Truck. And I definitely see better freight lanes at JB Hunt than at USA Truck. So, that's it. If you want to talk to me about anything, email me. I did change my email recently, but the other one still works. My new email is bt@bigginstrucking.com. So shoot me an email if you have any questions, comment below, whatever. I love talking to you guys. But until next time, drive on, driver. And y'all stay safe out there.